Joy Guru. Today I would like to discuss about a question that is, should we give up work? Should we give up action? Or if at all we want to do something, we want to do any work, what sort of work, what sort of actions should we undertake? This is the question. Or you can say this is the topic of today. Well, in this connection, I would like to state about a very trivial incident. Actually, I had a friend who didn't believe in the existence of God, and for that matter, he didn't believe in any sort of religion also. Once he commented that I have decided to give up action, I have decided to give up any work. I asked him, why? Why have you taken such a bizarre decision? He answered like this: well, your scriptures say that if I undertake any action, any work, that would lead to bondage. So therefore, I have decided not to do any work, not to do any actions, and thereby I would like to defy the instructions that are given in your scriptures. Well, let us examine it from one of the most prominent scriptures of the whole world, which is the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Because Lord Krishna, none other than Lord Krishna, has stated these scriptures, or rather these mottos. Now, this Srimad Bhagavad Gita is considered Srimad Bhagavad Gita is considered as one of the most prominent scriptures of the world because it speaks about immortality. But that's separate issue altogether. For the present, for the present context, I would like to state the 8th sloka of the 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where Lord Krishna stated, Niyatang kuru karmatam karma jayo karmana shariro jatrapi chatena prasiddhet akarmana. It means that Lord Krishna is stating, or Lord Krishna is suggesting, that you must do your obligatory duties. Action is superior than inaction. And through inaction, even the maintenance of your body is also not possible. This is the statement of Lord Krishna. But you may argue, or for that matter, anyone can argue. If I say that, well, I do not undertake any work, I do not undertake any action, but how does it ensure that, how does it ensure that the maintenance of my body will not be possible? The answer is very simple. Because of the fact, even if I do not do any work, if I do not undertake any action, even then action is going on within my body. Because after all, digestion is always going on within my digestive tube. Or for that matter, respiration, that is, expansion and contraction of my lungs, or this particular assignment is always going on. These are something absolutely involuntary. So it means that nature will force you to do work. Nature will force you to do work. In other words, as long as you are alive, as long as you are living, nature will force you to do work. So therefore, you cannot give up work. You cannot give up action. Even if you wish to do that, even if you intend to do that, it is simply impossible. So therefore, since it is absolutely impossible, then I would have to think, I will have to ponder what sort of action, what sort of work should we undertake. Now here also Lord Krishna has given a suggestion, you can say. He has stated that in the 9th sloka of the 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where he has stated, Yoggarthat karmana annatra lokoyam karma bandhana tadartham karma konteyo mukta sangha samachara. It means that, that is, a person or a man becomes bound by actions. Or you can say, other than action, that of God. You see, so therefore, do action for Him, that is for Jagarthat. It means that works that are meant for God. So do works for God. This is the suggestion of Lord Krishna. As because you see, other work, if you want to do other works, then you will become bound by that action. This is the statement of Lord Krishna. You see, in this connection, I would like to say the statements of Sree, Thakur, Anukul Chandra. Almost the essence is almost the same. He has stated that work on, but be not enslaved. But be not enslaved. That means he is also stating that if you want to do any work, definitely that would lead to bondage. But there are provisions. There are provisions so that you cannot be enslaved by the works or by the actions. What sort of this? Well, you see how rather he is stating like this, that work on, but be not enslaved. But the question naturally arises that I am enslaved by actions. How do I understand it? Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra has also given the answer. He has given that if any change of circumstances brings an undesirable change in your heart, then know for certain that you are enslaved yourself by your work. This is the answer given by Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. You see, I would like to give a real life example. See, once when I actually long before I gave tuitions to students, and I earned some amount of money, and then I purchased a flat. And before that, see, I stayed in a rented room. So when I actually when I actually left that rented room to live in that flat, you see, a sort of pride, a sort of complacency crept in within my mind. I thought, now I have done something very positive. So a sort of pride, this is what is known as passion. There are 6 passions or complexes. Last is one, calm, and then anger, that is krodh, and then infatuation. There are greed, infatuation, pride, jealousy. These are some of there are as many as 6 complexes. Now, at that point of time, I was actually, or rather, the change of circumstances. What was the change of circumstances? That is, I was able to purchase a flat by doing work. You see, and that work was to give tuition. So, and that actually brought a kind of change in my heart. That is a kind of a sense of pride crept in within my mind. So therefore, as Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra has rightly stated, that if any change of circumstances brings an undesirable change in your heart, know for certain that you are enslaved. Now, at this stage, I have understood the reality, or you can say the underlying truth of this particular statement of Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. Then he has also stated that do not be enslaved by any prejudice, but except that of Supreme Father, all prejudices are bonds, or you can say are bondage. So same thing, that is Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he has stated that whatever you do for God, that work will not cause any bondage. Rather, that will be the source for salvation. That will be the source for, you can say, for independence. That will be the source that you can get rid of from the cycle, or you can say from the vicious cycle of birth and death. You see, birth and death. As a matter of fact, all of us actually are undergoing through a vicious cycle. That is the birth and death. Why? As Lord Krishna stated in the 27th sloka of the 2nd chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, where he has stated, Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityur dhruvam janma mritasya cha tasmad apariharje orthe natam sochitam arhasi. It means that for the born, death is certain, but for the dead, rebirth is also a certainty. This is the statement of Lord Krishna. So therefore, you see, not that we will be absolutely lost after death. No, our existence will be there even after death. As a matter of fact, we are undergoing, we can say we are within the cycle, vicious cycles of birth and rebirth. And this is definitely not a very pleasant feeling. We need to come out from this vicious cycle. And for that, you need to do work for God. Now the question naturally arises, what sort of, what work will be considered as work of God? Any work. The answer is any work. Whenever you do any work, as worship, that work will be considered as work for God. That work will be considered as work for God. For example, I would like to give a very trivial, you can say, instance. See, once upon a time, let's say, this is my real life example, real life experience. I met actually long ago, I met a person who was a disciple of Sree Thakur Anukul Kotha. His work was just to, or rather, he engaged himself with the court matters. You see, court matters. And a person in front of me asked him that, that you are a man of religious world, but it seems that you are a very materialistic person, because your job, or you can say your job is to fight against some of the lands in the court. Why do you do such materialistic works? That person very humbly and calmly answered, because this is my work for my love Lord, Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. That person asked, why? How is it? Then that person answered, well, just see, some of the pious persons, they have donated their lands for Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. But some of the unscrupulous persons, they want to encroach those lands, and I fight in the court of law to recover those lands. This is precisely my ishtakarma. In this connection, I would like to state a motto of Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra. In Bengali, it is like this: সব প্রবৃত্তি রত থাকে ইষ্ট কার্য লয়ে, সেই সন্ন্যাসী সেই তো যোগী কাল নত যার ভয়ে. What does it mean? It means that, you see, that person who works for Lord, who works for Ishto, that is, who works for beloved, who works for his Lord, with all his passions, with all his complexes attached, he is the sannyasi, he is the, you can say, he is the ascetic person, and he is the yogi. See, to whom even the Satan, Kal means Satan or devil is defeated to him. Rather, a devil wants to retreat from him, as because devil or Satan knows that this person is doing works for his Ishto, and I cannot even touch him. In the other meaning of Kal is simply this, that he is above, or rather that person has conquered the time. In other words, he has achieved immortality. You see, as I have stated about the Bhagavad Gita, this particular scripture says about immortality. You see, and Lord Sree Thakur Anukul Chandra stated that person who works for his beloved, you see, works for his beloved with all his passions, doesn't matter. He is actually the sannyasi, he is actually the ascetic person. You see, he is the yogi, you see, and he has conquered time, space and causation. In other words, he has achieved immortality. He is imperishable. You see, he is rather, as I have already stated, that is, he is immortal. Amaratva labh, there is amritatva labh. So therefore, just imagine the first, you can say, in conclusion, I would like to say that we need to do work, and we need to do obligatory duties. You see, it may be any work, even if a person is a pleader, even if a person is a lawyer, he may do that. You see, it is stated that anyway, so even a lawyer, his work can be the work for God, if he actually dedicates his work for the God. Then any work can be considered as God. You see, in this connection, I would like to state a conversation between me and a Maharaj of Ramakrishna Mission. You see, at that point of time, actually, I was a professor of a Central Calcutta College, and once I asked a Maharaj of Ramakrishna Mission, that, Maharaj, we also teach people, but you see, we cannot achieve such results as your institution your institution performs. Then that Maharaj actually answered me, just see, you teach people as because you are paid for that, but we teach people as because we think that Godadhar, the name of the other name of Lord Ramakrishna has come to me for taking lesson. If I do not give him 100%, then all my renunciations, all my sacrifices would lead to a big zero. This was the answer of that particular model. And it is so. That means that they work for the Lord. Whatever work they do, they work for Lord. Same is the case with that person also. That person who engaged himself with court matters, just to safeguard the lands of Sree Thakur and Anukul Kotha. He also did work for Lord. Same. So therefore, he is the Maharaj, he is the sannyasi, he is the yogi. So in conclusion, I would like to say that we need to do work, because if I do not work, if I decide not to do any work, I cannot, because nature will force me to do work. As long as I am living, nature actually forces me to do work, as I have already stated, because my body physiology is always going on. So therefore, I need to do work. Now, what sort of work, what sort of action should I undertake, or should we undertake? The answer is very simple. Whatever work we need to, whatever action we undertake, remember, that is, we must work it as worship worship for my Ishto, for my beloved. In my case, for example, for the satisfaction of my love Lord, Sree Thakur Anukul Kotha. Yes, you have your own love Lord, that's another issue. Or if you do not believe in the existence of God, even then you work for the welfare of the people at large. People at least. So that also in turn, I would like to say, that also in turn will be an action for the Lord. You see? So this much for today. Live in love. Joy Guru.